Hello, I'm Tim Hellman.
And I am Gabriel Alan Rodriguez-Gonzalez Acock.
And this is Movie Talk. Today we're going to review the movie Run from the Cure. And this was another movie that I was requested to do a review on. Some guy that runs a website all about medical marijuana. He asked me to do it when we did another medical marijuana review a while back, and then it had been several months and I hadn't done it, and he commented on my review again saying that I was running from the review of Run from the Cure. Kind of calling me out for like being afraid to do
my fault.
To do a review. No, I just had to line up someone to do it with me, and yeah, Gabe said he'd do it, so.
I'm studying public health on campus, so this is a topic that I am very interested in.
So, what were your opinions on it then?
I would say that I would have to first just say my position that I am completely pro legalization for various reasons.
Or decriminalization of legal.
Or decriminalization.
Yeah.
I'm for legalization.
You're just a skeptic about whether it cures cancer or not.
Well, that's the thing, is I think once you start to present marijuana as a cure-all, that's going to save everybody's life and it cures everything.
Yeah.
Your opponents are going to just tune out.
Yeah.
Because you sound
it's so unbelievable.
You sound like a crazy hippie.
Yeah. The argument in the movie is that it's illegal because of big business. They need to make money off of the pharmaceutical medicine, and if hemp was legal, then you could use it to cure all these problems, and they wouldn't make money off of medicines that they sell you at jacked up prices.
Right. But they could still definitely make money.
Oh yeah. They wouldn't make as much though if hemp was legal.
They would make plenty. You can grow your own St. John's wort, but there's a huge industry selling St. John's wort, and they make billions of dollars. It's not like being herbal makes it not profit oriented. They still profit on that, like motherfuckers. I believe it's illegal just from recent tradition and from racism.
Originally they were targeting minorities with it.
Yeah, once you know.
But that was just the reason they gave for why they were making it illegal to the public, but that's not the real reason. It was a scare tactic they used.
Well, no, it was definitely a scare tactic.
It was making African Americans go crazy.
Right. No, I agree. It was a scare tactic. It was racist.
But that's the reason they were feeding the public, but that's not the real reason they made it illegal.
But the real reason is what? The government is going to make money by not being able to tax a product? That doesn't make any sense. It would make more sense for the government, especially in Canada where this documentary is taking place.
Yeah, it's all about Canada.
Where you have a national health care system. They would want, the government would want the cheapest solution. Because they have to spend tax dollars on this. And on these treatments. So if it's cheaper for the Canadian government to treat cancer with hemp oil, then they are going to actually probably promote it. And so I think that was one thing.
So you think it's illegal just because of taboo?
I think mostly from taboo. I think
false beliefs on what it does, I think.
And really racism, and then it just became traditional not to.
They still do target minorities way more with drug
crimes. Absolutely.
I read a statistic that a minority is 57 times more likely to be incarcerated for a drug crime than a white person for the same crime.
Yeah, no, that's just depressing.
I know. It's like, yeah. Do you think all drugs should be decriminalized?
I do, except for meth.
Really?
Yeah. Meth, I think you have to...
I think they should all be decriminalized, but there should be
steps
taken to...
The use of meth...
To safeguard them, they should...
The use of meth should be decriminalized. But the manufacture of meth, you are then affecting other people's environment and safety.
Well, yeah, that's a different thing, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, growing pot doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Growing cocaine doesn't hurt anybody. Growing heroin popping.
When you have to make labs to manufacture this stuff, that's when...
Yeah. Once things can explode, that's when you might need some regulations. So one of the things I was wanting to discuss was the idea of the evil pharmaceutical and government people that supposedly know that THC can cure everything,
And cure cancer specifically.
but they don't cure themselves.
They don't cure
They
themselves.
die of cancer. And I can't think of a single plausible reason, because once you're dying, profit is no longer a motivator. So you can't say profit is the motive.
Yeah.
So once you take profit away as a motive, there is no single reason.
But what's the motive to the filmmakers and all the people that gave testimony to lie about?
But my assumption, just based
You didn't
on
lie the people that gave their testimony.
anecdotal evidence, is useful, but it is not.
But I mean, do you
scientific.
believe what they're saying, these people?
I believe what they experienced, but one of the things is, I think at least half of them were still receiving traditional medicine.
You think so? And that?
Well, they were.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in the documentary, they were still receiving chemo and radiotherapies and whatnot. So it's hard at that point to discern what made the difference.
What actually cured them?
Right. I mean, and I do think cannabis in general does have a lot of medical benefits.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of them are clinically proven. So and it's published, it's public. You can go and read these things, and they will, so it's not like it's hidden. There's not some crazy organization hiding these facts.
Well, some don't believe that they're...
Don't believe what?
Don't believe that marijuana does all this stuff. There's people that contradict it.
Well, those... Yeah, well... there are people that believe we haven't been on the moon.
You don't hear them saying that it doesn't do this stuff. You hear them saying that all the bad things it does.
Right.
Which they can...
No, and I can't think of a single bad thing that marijuana does.
But everything can be left
healthier.
up to interpretation.
Sure.
That's what they can say. Say what they're saying and still believe they're saying the truth because that's how they interpret what happens.
And that's the same thing with the anecdotal evidence, where...
But the good argument that's being made is that if there wasn't a restriction on it, they could do more research into it.
Yes.
And then if it actually does cure cancer, then we could find out for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The way the documentary worked for me, even as a skeptic, is that I'm absolutely even more encouraged to have more research into the health benefits, because there very well could be some amazing things it does. It's just I think presenting it as a miracle cure for everything.
It's definitely not a good way to win over the...
No, because I mean, say you're...
It's like you're preaching to the choir.
Say you're Farmer John, Farmer John in Iowa, and you're Christian and you hate pot smokers, and you're like, oh, I'm open-minded, I'll listen to something, and then somebody's like, oh, it'll cure everything, it'll cure your... They said warts, which makes no sense. That's a virus. They said cure diabetes, that makes no sense, because that's about how you use sugars in your body. THC has no effect on that. Cancer, it has, in the documentary, they did explain, it can reduce tumors in a lab situation, not necessarily in the body. Then you start hearing all this cure-all stuff, and then you're just like, well, fuck it, it's a bunch of hippies, and they just want to get high. And I don't think.
But that's one of the things about this movie is that,
I don't think Rick Simpson wants to get high.
And any of the people that were interviewed, because they're not smoking it.
Right.
I don't think applying the oil gets you high.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
So that's one of the things that what is the motive behind them saying this?
No.
Because they're not even.
Well, I think they
high,
genuinely believe they're being.
Oh yeah.
And I do think he is a good representative because he is trying to make a non-illicit drug to heal people.
So what rating would you give the movie?
I would say 4.
Yeah, I would say 4 too. You can check out all this information on phoenixtears.com. CA.
Yeah.
not com.
CA for Canadian.